Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today it's a little bit too cold out to do anything out there. So I figured I'd do a short video today, and well, we know how my short videos go. But so basically, I want to talk about the rocking horse a little bit and our plans. So years ago, I bought this book. It's all a bunch of children's toys. My goal was back then was to make toys for my children out of wood, like I had when I was a kid. Um, so I bought this book. This book had all the plans in it, and we literally Xeroxed a lot of these pieces that we have here. We Xeroxed them on a large scale Xerox machine, and we literally put them together bit by bit and made the rough pieces instead of trying to draw out all these things and whatnot. We just Xeroxed them. Anyways, I still have all my notes written in there, pieces of wood and what kind of things we'll need. The only thing I don't think I have are the pieces for the attaching to the rockers. I don't think I have those. I'm gonna have to look out there and see. And this says 1x4, but I think I want to say the leg pieces are bigger than that. So I'm gonna have to look and check and see, because the pieces what I have written down here, like for the top pieces are 1x8, and then you go down one it says 1x6. So if this is 1x6, there's no way I'm going to be able to use a 1x4 piece of wood across to put the rockers on. So I have the feeling I'm going to have to get a piece of 1x6 for it. So that we'll adjust as we go there. But anyways, I figured to show you, this is a pretty old book. I don't know if it has a date on it or anything. I bought this many years ago, probably 2030. Oh, look, I actually have the Xerox pieces. So these are basically, some of them fit right on the sheet, like so. We were able to get it all on one sheet. Others, if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple in there. Don't ask me how, but we managed to do it. We got them all. The only problem with that is you can't get it exactly what you want size-wise. It's going to be a little bit off. So the first rocking horse I built, all the pieces were a little bit off, slightly off here and there, and they didn't really kind of go together. But I put it all together and made it work. And some, like the back pieces for the legs stuck out a little bit. The pieces for the body, pieces didn't go together quite right. So what I did was, after we got it all figured out, then the kids weren't using the rocking horse anymore. I took the old rocking horse that I had made, the original one that I had made. I took it apart and I made new templates. And when I cut the pieces, I actually put the pieces together and kind of cut them so that they matched perfect. I don't want to say perfectly because nothing's ever perfect, but they matched much better than when the original one that I did. So I cut all those pieces out, got them matching, and the intention was to rebuild it, put it back in the house, and have so the kids could play with it every once in a while when they wanted to. But I never did get it finished. Life happened, and I ended up getting divorced, and it was just me and the kids, and I just didn't have time. I had to run around and do a bunch of things. So, but I had all the pieces cut out. I had them all sanded down for the most part. The only thing, like I said, the only thing I have to really look at are the rockers, because the rockers are kind of stained and dirty. So I don't know how much of that is dirt, how much of that is something that dripped on them and stained on them, being in storage for so long. So I have to go through those pieces. Once I go through those pieces, figure it out, then we'll start getting into the assembly process. But before I assemble it, I do still need to make some templates so that I have the pieces in case I want to make more. If my son gets married eventually and has kids, then I can't not make one for my daughter, or not make one for him when I made one for my daughter and her children. So I will have the pieces. I will have the templates. That way I can just make more as I go along. So I need to make a template for the rockers. 2 of the pieces that I have for the body, which had warped, or the centerpiece is warped. I'm not sure which. I gotta fit those pieces around and see what's actually warped. Now that I got a nice fresh piece of wood, I'm gonna lay the centerpiece on that piece of wood and then just see if that's actually warped, or if it actually is the 2 outside pieces. So because the piece is kind of warped like this, I'm thinking the centerpiece is fine. I'm not sure how they got warped like that, because all the pieces were flat laying on top of each other in the bin. So I have to figure that out. If the centerpiece is done, I'll still be able to use that as a template and only have to cut that piece of board once, which would then allow me to use the remainder of that for the base to go across the 2 rockers for the horse to sit on. So I have to go through all that, make some templates for future pieces, and on those pieces, obviously, I'm going to mark 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, whatever I need as far as pieces go for that to create another rocking horse. So I'll have all those pieces, or I'll need to make all those copies. Any of the pieces that I have right now that like the 2 warp pieces, I'll keep those, right? And I'll use that as a template. Yes, it'll be slightly warped, but by the time I draw it on the piece of wood and then cut it out, it's probably going to be a little bit larger than I need anyways, being that it would warp up. It would make it a little bit smaller possibly. So that said, I should have either 1 to 2 pieces of body work that will be already made for templates. I will need to get at least 1 body part made. I'll need to get the longer leg pieces made. The pieces that go between the body and the leg, I'll need to get a template for that. I'll need to get a template for the head. And the seat I've got to figure out, because the seat is just all wonky. Now, when I placed it on the 2 pieces, it's really lopsided. Like it sits off to one side for some reason. So I may have to make a new seat. If that's the case, we'll make a template once we do that. So basically I have all the pieces except for 2, and I possibly have to cut 1, maybe 2 body parts out. Simply said and done. So the last video that really got screwed up, I had the boards out and was sanding the boards. For some reason I didn't get sound. I did check the sound this time, so hopefully I'll have sound on this one. If not, I can at least remake this video, because I'm just talking and going through pieces. So I got those all sanded down. I was hoping that we were going to have a couple nice sunny days, and we do have a nice sunny day. The issue is it is like 33 or 34 degrees out, just above freezing. In order to put the polyurethane on, it needs to be above 55 or about 55 to 75, I think is what it said in here. Yeah, 55 to 90 degrees. So a little too cold to put this on, because my plan was to make a video this week, complete the sanding, and then at least urethane one of the pieces of wood. But it is a little bit too cold out. So, and as I've discussed in other videos, the only area I have to work is outside for these projects. So I need it to warm up a little bit. I think later today it might be just above, but it's not going to give me enough time to let it dry. So I figured I'd come in here, bring out the book, and go over the things needed for the project. I do have a piece for the drill press to put a hole in the head because it needs a little handle there. So I've got the dowel for that. I bought that when I bought the other piece of wood, which, my God, that one piece of wood was almost $100 by itself. Whereas all the pieces of wood that I previously bought to make all the other parts, I don't even think it cost me $40, if that. And they were like large pieces of wood. So that tells you where the wood prices are now. They're extremely high, and it's pretty expensive. So I don't want to make any mistakes with this. The other thing the plans called for on this is when I make the pieces for the legs, it calls for me to wedge it. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm literally going to leave it though 3/4 inch, whatever it is, the 1 inch. I'm going to leave it that way. That's how I did it with my kids' rocker, and it worked out just fine. I felt it was better because of the way the positioning. Instead of legs out like this, it put the legs down like this. To me, and it widened the stance just slightly. To me, it was a much better, um, much wider stance. So I had to increase the width a little bit on the rockers, but it's a little more stable in my opinion. So I just left those alone, and that's what we're going to do with this one. So I'm not going to wedge those. I am just going to leave them the way they're all sanded and ready to go. The only thing I'll need to get again are the pieces that go between the who are on top of the rockers that the body will stand on. So I do have to get those done. Unfortunately, that video last week, none of the sound came out. That's why I made a whole bunch of shorts out of it. Put a little music to you so you guys could see. And I mean, I'm glad I did get to the end part where we walked up to the garden. I just wish the sound was there to see those two onions popping up. I thought they died off because they were growing really good before everything went south, and I thought they died off. I was a little shocked when I went out to the garden the day, a couple days before I even shot that video and saw those popping up. Well, actually, I only saw the one. And then when I went out to make the video and I made that short with that in there, it was the second one. So yeah, I was a little shocked and surprised, pleasantly surprised at that. So we'll see how those go. That's going to put a damper on me changing out the soil possibly in there unless I can work around it because I don't want to disturb it. I want it to grow. I want to see if I can actually get an onion out of it. That would be amazing. So that said, I did get most of the sanding done on those two pieces. My goal was to apply the urethane. I did pick up a premium roller. It's just a little 4-inch roller that I'm going to roll it on with. It is it's for smooth surfaces, and it says all sheens. I bought a couple. I think I bought a set of rollers to go with this as well. It is water-based. I'm not using an oil-based. It is water-based. I've used this before. This is Rust-Oleum. I've used this before on a couple of projects, and they're still holding up just fine. Like the urethane is fine. This is not a high gloss. So I did not get a high gloss. I got a sheen. So I may or may not use this on the rocking horse. I'm not. I'll see when we do the the tops of those plywoods, so that I have that work surface. Once that's done, I see what this looks like. I'll decide then, like, oh, do I want to use this on there, or do I want a shinier thing? So I also picked up just a couple. I picked up a couple of these trays because it's just such a pain to wash those, and I hate to throw anything away. I'm going to check and see if I can get away with washing these, and it washes out fairly easy. Then we'll do that. Oh yeah, I did. I picked up 2 other rollers too. We will be washing these out because these are not cheap. So that, again, that is water based, so it'll be fairly easy to wash them out. So that's what we're going to do with that. Unfortunately, the plan was to finish the sanding today and do the video, and then do at least the first coat of this and get it on, get it dried, because I'm not going to be doing this stuff inside the house in the basement, because my room is just outside the basement, so I really don't want the smell in my room all night. It is water-based again, so the smell is not that bad. So it probably wouldn't smell that much, if at all, but I don't want to take that chance. And I need to get at least 2 coats of cover on that, just to make it so it's a little thicker. So I would need, I think it's 2 hours between coats. So I would need a good 2 hours, put it on, let it dry, and then come back, do a light sanding if need be, and then put another coat on. Because once I put the first coat on, the fibers tend to lift underneath, like the wood absorbs the poly, so it pushes up and it leaves little pieces sticking up and stuff. So I would need to give that a light sanding. So the possibility of 3 coats is there as well. So I would need 2 hours to let that dry, or get to a point where it's dry enough I can do a light sanding with like 400 grit, clean that off, reseal that, give it another 2 hours to dry before I even brought it inside. And then, of course, if I needed a third coat on there. So I'd need like 6-8 hours to do this. And I do have 2 pieces, so I could be working on one while the other one's drying, kind of thing, which would work out perfectly. So that was the plan for today, but unfortunately, the temperatures plummeted here, and because we were running up into the 60s, well into the 60s, all the last few weeks, which is unseasonably warm for us. I'm not complaining by any means. I'll take it all day. So hopefully, if possible, during the week this week, because I wasn't feeling too hot last week, and I think I had an ear infection and a sinus infection on the one side. So I wasn't feeling great anyways, and we had rain all week, so I really wasn't able to get out there. And then, like I said, the temperatures kind of plummeted, so it was getting cold out. So I didn't want to be working out there in the cold and an ear infection, so I skipped all that. So if I can get out this week and do some more sanding, it's going to be cold all week, but by the time I get home, I'm hoping it'll be like at least in the high 40s, the low 50s maybe, or mid 50s. And at least that way I can get some more sanding done. If that's the case, I'll take the camera out and try and do another video or some shorts or whatever I can get done. But yeah, that's the plan for the week. So that's what I have for this week. Garden wise, I'm not doing much right now. Obviously, it's still a little cold. I'm worried about frost and whatnot, so I don't want to put any plants or anything out there yet. Probably, I'm going to say the first part of February, we may look at putting some seeds in the ground, which means I'll have to get some soil, put it on top of that composted material. I'm likely going to have to dig the pots out at least halfway, maybe a little bit more, and refill it to the top with some actual soil. So I've got to get bags of that. So, it's all coming down to money again. This year, money's going to be even tighter until hopefully the middle of the year. I'll have a little bit of money to work on things. So that said, guys, I want to thank everybody. Look, our numbers went up. We actually grew a little bit this week. It's fantastic. I really appreciate you guys coming on board and watching the videos and likes. Likes have been great. We've got more likes on the videos. So if you're not subscribed already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and if you got a comment, leave a comment. If you don't have a comment, just say hi. I appreciate anything in there, guys. If you have a comment to help me in my journey, this is not just building toys for kids. This just happens to be a project I'm doing while it's a little less temperate. And the goal again is to eventually, hopefully, get my own homestead, even if it's only a couple acres, and grow a lot of my own food and things like that. My goal, ultimate goal, would be to get a small farm, raise some animals, grow some crops. That would be the big goal. But I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, so as we go along, we'll update on finances. We'll update on the journey of where we're going and how we're doing getting there. So this is just a small project. I have another project that I want to do. I don't think I'll get that done for the March time frame. Think I'm going to be a little bit pressed to see if I can get this done in that March time frame, but we're going to try. So next week we'll see what happens. It's all dependent on weather, guys, because again, my workshop is Mother Nature's outdoors. So that's where we work. I don't have a shed. I don't have a tent or anything like that that I can put up and work in. This is not my property. I literally rent a room to save money to get out of this hole that I built over these last 30 years. So Tim's tips, hits, tips and suggestions are welcome in the comments. If you see something and you think something that'll work better, please put it in the comments. Tell me about it. I don't care. I'll take any help I can get. May or may not use it. I don't know. But anyways, I do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and please share these videos out. Let's see if we can grow this to 75. We're getting pretty close. I think last time I looked, we were at 72 or 73. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, there's your update for this week. And I'll try and do something for a short this week and see what I can get out. I might be able to squeeze a little bit more out of that that video that didn't have any sound, unfortunately. That's life, right? So guys, have a great day and have a great week. And we'll see you, if not in a couple days, by next Tuesday. Have a great one.